Hey, third graders. Welcome back to science. Today is Monday, June 8th. This is lesson 1 of our science week. We'll be learning about science all throughout this week. Let's have a quick flashback of what we learned last time we were reviewing science. Last time we learned together in science, we discussed the life cycles of plants and animals. We then compared life cycles of plants and animals to find similarities and differences. Here's our target for today. This target will be the same throughout the entire week. I can explain that animals form groups to defend themselves. So your job this week is to explain that animals are forming groups to defend themselves. You'll be able to explain that and be able to show how you know that this is true. So this week we'll be learning all about animal groups and their behaviors. Let's have a quick warm-up. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to pause the video after each question and think about the answer. You can either write this answer down or just say it aloud. This way you're trying to practice and get your brain warmed up for what we're going to talk about today. So here's the first question. Do animals work together? Go ahead and pause it and think about this answer. Do animals work together? Our second question is, what sizes of groups can animals form? So are they really big? Are they small? Or is it everything? Think about this answer. Our third question is, why do geese fly in V-shaped formation? I wonder if any of you know. And our last question is, why do fish swim in schools? Think about all of these questions and see if you can figure out an answer. If you're not sure what a V-shaped formation is, this is how geese fly in the air. So I wonder why they do this. And here is a school of fish. They're swimming all together in one big group. I wonder why they do this. Today, our goal is to answer all of these questions and be able to explain it very well. So what we will do today. Today, we will start to discuss animal groups and their behaviors. Throughout the week, we will learn how animals work together to survive. Here's a group of penguins working together. Most likely, they're doing this to survive. So what is group behavior? Group behavior is what animals do with other animals to help them survive. Groups can be large, like a herd of 1,000,000 wildebeests, or small, like a pride of a few lions. Humans live in groups also, and we work together to help one another. The purpose of group behavior is to help living things survive. So the reason why groups are formed for animals is to help them survive. So let's look at a few examples. Let's talk about lion groups first. Animals can form groups that are big or small. An African lion pride usually consists of about 13 lions. By forming a group, they can hunt more effectively. It helps them survive. So here's a picture of some lions living together and working together. This is probably not their entire pride, but this is some of the males in that pride. So some different animals have a different name for their group. So for example, lions have the name of pride to describe their group. So it's a lion pride. They also have 13 lions usually in that pride. And why do they work together in that pride? So that they can hunt more effectively. So hunting more effectively allows them to get food, and then they're allowed to survive more in the wild. So they work together to get that food. Next, we'll talk about wolf groups. Wolves also form small packs of between 5 and 11 individuals. Wolf packs also hunt together and defend themselves against intruders. I wonder if you know what the word intruders is. Go ahead and pause it and think about what that word can mean. So the word intruders means to, or someone that comes into a group that does not belong. So if the group of wolves, or a pack of wolves I should say, are defending themselves, they are usually defending themselves against another animal that is an intruder, and they'll fight together against that intruder. So wolves form small packs. So instead of a pride like lions, they have packs. And usually wolves live together, about 5 and 11 of them. Here's a picture of a wolf pack. So you can see there's about 5 or 6 in this pack. And they're probably just hanging out right now, but later they might have to hunt together or try to defend themselves against maybe other wolves or a predator of them. Now let's talk about wildebeest groups. Wildebeest can be found in huge groups of over 1 million in eastern Africa. Wildebeest are very vulnerable to predators, which is why they live in such a large herd. When a predator gets near, they make an alarm call to signal the other members of the herd. Interestingly, they also stay close to zebras. Scientists think that they hang out with zebras in hopes that the predator will catch a zebra instead of a wildebeest. So with wildebeest groups, they usually have about 1 million members or animals. So that's a lot of wildebeest, 1 million of them. This is because they're vulnerable to predators. So some of the predators of wildebeest can include lions and other carnivore animals, whereas a wildebeest is just a big animal. I'll show you a picture on the next slide. So this is why they live in herds. So we learned about prides for lions, packs for wolves, and herds for wildebeests. And to keep themselves safe, they make alarm calls to signal the other members that a predator is near. And they also stick with zebras. So the zebras might be a distraction to the predator and try to keep them away from their own herd. So here's a little more information about the wildebeest groups. Wildebeest are part of the Great Migration, during which time they travel from Serengeti in Tanzania to the grasslands in Kenya. So throughout the year, they'll migrate from one part of Africa to another part of Africa, and this is called the Great Migration. Not only wildebeest move during the Great Migration, zebras move, sometimes giraffes move as well with them. And the migration is in a circle and consisting of 500 miles of grass. They travel in large herds because it's the safest way to make the journey. So here's a picture. Here's all of those wildebeests, and they're making their move for the Great Migration. That's a lot of wildebeest. That's about their whole herd right there. So here's some questions we should answer. Why do you think animals form groups? Go ahead and pause the video and try to answer this question. All right, they form groups to hunt together or defend one another. Why do you think groups are different sizes? We learned about this throughout our presentation today. So I want you to be able to answer this question independently in the Nearpod assignment. Why do you think groups are different sizes? We talked about how some groups are very, very big, like the wildebeest, and some groups are a little smaller, like the wolves and the lions. So keep those things in mind as you answer this question. Let's go ahead and review our target. I can explain that animals form groups to defend themselves. So you should be able to explain why these groups are made in different animal types and to explain why they have to defend themselves. So now it is your turn. Your job now is to go and complete the Nearpod assignment. You should be able to answer the questions, and you can always come back to this video if you have a question. Remember to make sure you press the arrows and answer each question thoroughly. All right, friends, have a great day, and I'm excited to see your work on Nearpod.